Steve, are you ready for this?
Yeah, what am I ready for? The bridge?
To do the synopsis of this huge
Yeah.
book?
Yeah, I can do it. So the book that we're reviewing is called The Great Bridge. It is by David something. Um, Basically, it is a nonfiction historical account of the building of the Brooklyn Bridge in New York. It took place in the late 1800s, and it just chronicles from the start to the finish of the Brooklyn Bridge in a level of detail that I think is just unpaired, like an actually unbelievable amount of detail. Um, but it goes across several decades. They talk about some of the issues that went on with the building, corruption, the politics of the time period, the people involved, and yeah, it's just a recounting of what happened as they were building the bridge.
What'd you rate it?
I'm gonna give it an A. I don't normally do that. Maybe an A minus. A minus. But I gotta respect the so prose is it's an unbelievable reaccounting of what happened during the building of the Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, to absolutely amazing detailed descriptions. It's kind of cool to learn about the time period, what things were like back then, the politics, the corruption. But then, on the other hand, it went into maybe a little bit too much detail. And I think that's going to be a common complaint with people is it's a 600-page book. And, if you want to figure out how many screws were in some certain, pillar on the bridge, you can find that information out. But it's very, very detailed. But it's actually unbelievable what this guy was able to like uncover, and the research that he did was absolutely incredible, and you have to respect it, the book, because of that.
Have you read any other of his books?
Nope.
I think Liz has, except she's muted. Anne, what did you rate it?
I rated it B minus C plus because it was really good for nonfiction, like Steve said. It was really well written. I liked learning about the people and like some of the things they were doing. But yeah, when it came to like bridge forces and shear stuff and all sorts of, I mean, they talked about the wires. They talked about a caisson for like 3 chapters. And like that could have been, shortened for me. So yeah, I agree. I thought it was a bit too long, but it is impressive how much research he did to figure out all this stuff that he put in the book.
Do you ever get tired? Maybe you got tired of reading about bridges and like the engineering because you do that by day.
I mean, I don't design bridges, but I do go to meetings where bridges are involved. And some, like, if it's, I mean, it's not stuff that I know, like the stuff they talk about, types of beams and stuff. I don't really, that's not my job. I do roads. So, but yeah, I do. I mean, I take notes. So yeah, I'm used to hearing some of that stuff, like shear force. I know what that is. But yeah, I don't need to know like the exact amount of force on each bolt and such for a bridge.
That's fair. Liz, your hair's so pretty.
Thank you. I let it air dry today.
You're gonna die.
No, I need to though. The gray's getting so bad.
Yeah.
I'm a couple months away from having to dye it.
You can't see the grays from here. It looks nice.
Good. Good.
What
I'm
did
I
glad.
you,
don't know that I've ever noticed grays on Liz.
Oh, it's like right here on like my crown. Like right here, I get
Oh,
like bands of white. It's really fun.
I just have one, like on one patch that
Steve, do you get gray hairs yet? You're the youngest.
I don't think so, no. I'm gonna have to protect against balding, but so far so good.
Enjoy.
Good.
Liz, what'd you rate it? You've read more of his books, right?
I have. Yeah, I read 1776, which is about like the first year, like leading up to like the Revolutionary War, like the first couple years of it. And it's really good. It's much shorter than this. I rated this one C plus B minus. It was super good for nonfiction, but yeah, too much detail for me, especially because I was in school at the same time, and it was just like I had my fill. But I liked all the drama with all the like corruption and the family drama and the seances. Like, I wish there was more of that. I'm also scared of like the Cassians or whatever they're called. What are they called, Andrea?
I think it's a case on, but I'm not 100% sure.
Terrified. I think I was more scared of that thing than the glowing creature in Annihilation. So
Yeah, I'd never go in the Casey on. Never. Anne, would you rate it? Or not Anne, Kelly.
I'll give it a B. I thought it was really good. I think you have to like, it's not a book that you just pick up not really knowing anything about and you're like, this is awesome. Like, it's going to appeal to a specific person or like somebody who has something that they want to learn. So I mean, it's not a recommendation that I would just give out willy-nilly. I liked learning about the people and how they got those jobs that they did and like how this all came about. Cause I've never even thought about the Brooklyn Bridge, or I just thought, hey, we need a bridge from here to here. Let's do this. Let's hire people that are licensed and insured. Not the case though. But yeah, a lot of detail. But I think if you didn't have that detail for this book, like that was the whole point of the book, to like recount as much as possible for that aspect. But yeah, I think you have to be a specific person. There was some skimming in it when we started talking about like the cables. Like I remember the cables. I was like, I know way too much about cables now. So I mean, I feel like they should offer like this book for the bridge engineering people that are like, hey, I want to learn everything there is to know about this bridge. And then maybe like a shortened version for the people that just want to casually learn about the bridge, but they don't want to end being prepared to build a bridge. So pretty good though.
Madeline, what's your rating?
I feel like there should be two categories of ratings, like one for fiction, one for nonfiction, because it's definitely not binge worthy. It's not smutty. It's not fantasy, which would normally be very high ratings for me. But for like nonfiction, I would give this a B plus. I have a lot of respect for the details, like Steve said. Like, I don't know how he got all the information he did, because I can't find some things about my past from like 2015, So like, how did he get this information from 1886 or whatever? So that was interesting to me. I also really thought it was interesting how a lot of the same problems still exist in society, like the embezzling money, or like having the preferred vendors that they choose because they get some sort of kickback. I think that that's still really prevalent in our society. It's kind of sad, but that was my rating. But it was good pick, or I'm having a terrible time with words today. It was a good pick, Steve. A good from the normal books that we read.
I think you
Yeah,
gotta
I
be a
think it's
certain
cooler,
person.
like I think
Sorry,
it's cooler if you like been there too. Like we walked across it for our honeymoon, so that was kind of cool to read about. Like a lot of the interesting stuff you wouldn't know.
yeah. You have to be a certain person, I think, to like it. And as like a casual reader, I would rate it actually very low. If you're just like looking for a book to pick up, it's an easy read. But if you're actually, if you're interested in the history and you appreciate the level of detail that it goes into, then I would rate it a lot higher. But I mean, ultimately, I don't think there's like a better recollection that you can find anywhere about New York during that time period or the building of this bridge. I mean, he really did I give the book a very high rating just because of the level of research he did. I respect that. So
Yeah.
I'm saying you guys don't, but
I definitely do. I would read another one of his books for sure.
Oh yeah, if I wanted to learn about anything like historical like this, I feel like this is the guy to go to. You know what I mean? And it's not like textbooky, it's interesting too. So it's well written.
It is very well written. I feel like there's probably not like another single source that has more information about the bridge. Like, I feel like if you want to learn any, like, he just grabbed all the information available in the entire world and wrote a book. It's kind of cool.
He's
Probably
the
took him
internet.
like years. to research it.
Oh, I'd have to.
Yeah.
I also didn't know how like monumental the bridge was for the time, like how it was the first to span that long, or how just really impressive it was and how it still stands today. Like I never would have known any of that. I've never been to the Brooklyn Bridge, but I would like to go now because I know a lot about it.
Book club trip.
Yes. We'll come
We
visit.
have too many book club trips.
Okay, we can go. We can just stay with Steve while we're there. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I have plenty of room. Lots of extra bedrooms. So
Do you really? I thought you
No,
lived in an apartment.
no, we have a little tiny apartment now. It's barely big enough for 2 people. So
We'll get a hotel nearby. I would like to go to New York. I've never been.
I've never been
That's
either.
cool.
Cool. Well, that's the bridge book. Anything else you guys want to say about the 600 pounder, 600 pager?
I'm glad that we did Annihilation after this, because I feel like that was a little breather, a little to keep things moving here. So
I
Agreed.